What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the A Show with the Kings of Pro Wrestling Podcast. I am Justin, here with Meelz. What's good, Meelz? MSG Meelz. MS
What's up,
Meelz.
man? What's up, man? Let me tell you something. I got these Skittle gummies. They might
Fire.
not last throughout the rest of the show.
Fire.
I was just
Yes.
like, because I told myself I needed more desk snacks for when we do a show, because usually I'm sitting here for 2 hours and it's during like lunch period. So essentially, I'm usually very hungry after the show. No, I'm usually am very hungry after the show
Right.
because I don't eat a lot before the show. Um, But yeah, I got these gummies. These gummies are crack. They're really, really good.
They're really good.
Um,
I concur.
Top candy. What's your favorite candy right now?
Those nerds clusters, man. That's
Mm.
gas, man.
Okay.
It's a new age candy, but I can respect that. New age candy. That's what I'm calling it.
I'm gonna look out for it.
You never had the nerds clusters, gummy clusters?
Nah, I'm not like a big low key. I'm not a big candy person, but I
Oh, so
knew I
I'm
needed.
the crackhead.
No, 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 no. But I needed candy. It's just good to like have like random things of sugar because I don't know why I'm saying it like I'm old, but it's like I would get headaches. Usually, sometimes I get headaches like quite frequently if I don't eat or if I don't have quite a lot of sugar or a bit of sugar in my system. I get these like massive headache migraines.
Yeah.
So I try to have something on deck. So I saw these Skittle gummies as I was checking out at the supermarket, and I was like, "Let me try them. We'll see what happens. It's Skittles, it's gummies, whatever hack they're trying to get people to buy this shit." Because I don't know if ever go back to regular Skittles if they still have these out.
I mean,
Skittles get stuck in your teeth, bro. Like um I've had cavities. I've got the fillings. I'm
yeah.
good.
Well, here's the thing about this whole thing, right? Like,
Mhm.
it only gets worse. I bought a whole big Costco-sized box of Gushers,
Oh my god.
and I don't know if I'm gonna get through it, but I feel pretty proud that I have it. Just when I need it, you know? It's like, candy is like a comfort place for me. I shoulda gave it up for Lent, but it's too late now.
It's
Could I
too late.
start
No.
could I start Lent right now? I probably
I
shouldn't.
um I feel like, they would respect it.
I'm gonna ask my wife. She's the Catholic one.
Okay.
I'll
All
see.
right.
Or somebody from who listens can be like, "No, nigga, don't do that."
um so last night, shout out to Netflix once again. Shout out to Sade. Went to Raw at MSG. Wasn't sure if I was gonna be able to go. Netflix came through. Shout out to Netflix. Um, I hadn't been to a WWE event in like maybe. Actually, I'm lying. It was last year around
Yeah, what are
WrestleMania.
you talking about? You legitimately you go more than I do.
I know. Well, they don't come as often to your neck of the woods like they do our neck of the woods
Yeah.
because we have two. They're either coming to Barclays or MSG, and but the last two times I haven't gone. I think the last time they were at MSG, which I was so mad that I wasn't able to do it, or that we wouldn't be able to go. Jalen Brunson and Tyrese Halliburton was there, so I was pretty upset about that because that was I would I felt like low key I put them on, but
Oh
it is
boy. All right.
but it is what it is. I remember setting the WWE PR person. I was like, "Hey, Jalen Brunson were one of these." I don't know if they like dropped it in there. It could have been like a low key soft collab. Um, I was like, "Yo, he's a fan of wrestling." Da 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 da. And like 3 weeks later, he shows up to the thing. Um,
And that's
and
all 'cause of
then
meals. That's 'cause of big meals.
uh, you know, I mean, they wasn't doing Jalen Brunson before. He was there. He's been there for years. They brought out Trey Young to MSG. Ain't bring out Jalen Brunson or Julius Randle or anybody else. Um, I don't remember last time they were at Barclays, but I'm pretty sure I didn't go to that either. Um, but Raw is they always go out big for Raw, except this year, except this show. This show is kind of a match wise kind of ass. But besides the main event,
I think that was
but
by design.
I think so too. I think it's mostly because everyone else is probably on a jet to Europe.
Europe, yeah, because they
Um,
start that Friday, correct?
yeah, so I'm assuming they're prepping or they're on a jet to Europe because essentially, like, if you had told me that like Raw was actually only 14 people, I would believe you.
Felt like it,
um,
man.
yeah. So anyway, here's my kind of experience kind of pulling up there. So I show up, they got we get the VIP entrance, which is great. I have to walk in with everybody else. I was like, you know what? Fine. They're like, hey,
What
can I see your
what is what is wrong with having to walk in with everybody else?
well, listen, it's VIP
No,
for a reason. I'll walk in with everybody else today. Roadblock, I got a regular, degular. Shout out to Donnie as well as our social media manager. Got a regular, degular ticket. I'm gonna be with the people. Meals for the people. You know what I'm
okay,
saying?
okay.
Um, but when there's only a few chances in this world to be. You talking about like you ain't Mr. VIP? Come on, man. You be
I
rolling up
wouldn't
at
be
8:30.
I
Show already
wouldn't be
started.
mad I wouldn't be mad if I had to walk in
I
with
didn't
other
say I was.
people.
I didn't say I was mad. I was just like didn't have to walk in with the people. You know what I'm saying? Walked in dolo. They were like, "Oh, excuse me." He's like, showing them my ticket and stuff like that. So I get there, and New York wrestling shows are always kind of like a family reunion because you always see people that you see on the timeline or a couple. Like I saw a bunch of people last night. So I pull up, and um Jeff J hits me up. Shout out to Jeff J, friend of the show,
Jeff J,
confidant of the
what's up?
show.
What's up, brother?
The man, he's a man. Um, he's like, "Yo, where you at?" And I'm like, "I just pulled up to the suite." And he's like, "Yo, we're in the Delta Sky Lounge." And I was like, "Oh, bet. I'm gonna head over there." Oh, famous last words. So I head down, mind you, the path to the suite is super long. We're at the last batch, and like MSG's is one big circle. So we're like all the way at the end. And MSG does this thing where like you can walk one way, but you can't walk the other way. So
Mhm.
I literally walked from like suite 22, 4 or 5 minutes all the way down to suite, whatever our suite was. So now I'm walking all the way back and I head down there and I'm asking people, I was like, how do I get to Delta Sky Lounge? The Sky Lounge. And they're like, oh, you take this elevator, blah, 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 blah. So I'm taking all these damn elevators. I'm being put in circles essentially. And I show up right where I started, which was in front of the Delta Sky Lounge, apparently, with mad Netflix people there. I'm like, oh, great. I'm a guest of Netflix. This is easy. So I woke up to them. I'm like, hey, yeah, I'm a guest of Netflix. I'm just trying to see my man's. He's in the Delta Sky Lounge. Um,
My man's killed you right there. You
first
can't
of all,
say I'm here to see my man's.
well, for my people's is there. So what I should have done was hit up Jeff J as I was walking there. That's what I should have done because Jeff J is Mr. MSG. I don't know if you know this.
Mr.
Um,
MSG. Okay.
he's a talent there. He had a show and everything.
Yeah.
Um, so I should have done that. I didn't do that. So I walk in and I go to, they're like, "Oh yeah, did you check in?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm about to check in now. Here's my name." Da, 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 da." They're like, yeah. So you're up in the suites, right?" Yeah, and I was like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah." But tell Scott, let me just go in there. It's like 7:30 already. They about to like wrap up. Let me just go see my man's, and they're essentially like, no, you're you're just a you're
Oh
just a
god.
suites, and I was like, "Oh, okay." So I didn't really want to walk all the way back because it was super, super long to get there. Like it
And
take
what
for
time is this? What time is this?
this is like 7:30 now. Like I think Loki, this was the wildest shit. I think Penta is wrestling one of the niggas from LWO on main event, which was nuts.
Why is that nuts?
Because why we thought he was gonna be on the show. Everyone was like, "Yo, I'm so glad I came early because we wouldn't have seen Penta otherwise." Because sometimes they do that. They did it for LA Knight once at an MSG show. Brought LA Knight at 7:30 for a dark segment with Hit Row. Everyone missed him because the show started at 8 and they thought LA Knight would be on the actual show. So I was just like, let me try again. Let me try again. So I go up to the lady. I'm like, yeah, I've reserved this with Netflix and da 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 and da 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 da. And she was like, oh, talk to this other person because suddenly when you get to um talkative with people, like, this person might have better answers because it seems like they didn't really know anything except who was, you know, who had a wristband, who didn't have a wristband.
Mhm.
So I talked to the lady, and she's like, "Okay, give me your name." So I give her my name, and she's like, like, so, you know, you're here for press, right? I'm like, yeah. And there's like, "Yeah, well, here, this event is like really just for people on the floor, like the floor people, like all this." And I was like, okay. And like some press. And I was like, okay, but I'm press. And they were like, but like not really your press. Like that's, and she kept going on, kind of like in a way of like, how can I be polite?
And say,
But
"Not you, nigga."
yeah,
Yes.
and say that essentially. And I was just like, "All right, don't even fuck it, whatever." And in my brain, I was like, I should have approached this a completely different way. And it's maybe because I haven't gone out a lot, but in other ways, I would have got in. I feel like 10 years ago, me, journalists covering events, all this other stuff like that, you got to figure ways to sneak into things or get access to things when you don't have access to things. But I feel like I've been so out of it for a while I forgot how to do that. Anyway, I go back up to the suite. Cal is in the suite.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I haven't seen Cal. I think this is actually my first time in person meeting Cal. And the only reason I say that is because he was surprised I didn't drink. Most people know I don't drink. He's like, "You don't drink?" I was like, "Yeah."
We both don't drink, yeah.
Yeah, I know. But I don't know if people know that. Um, so me and him,
Admittedly, you're in way less situations where people will be drinking, so,
yeah. I
yeah.
mean, this situation, it was free. Everything was free.
Yeah.
Um, so having a good time there. Eventually, Jeff pulls up. I go see Armand. Everyone's there. A bunch of people saw Krista B from the Wrestling Girls, and kind of like it was a great time. Everyone was there enjoying themselves. Carl Lamar from Billboard, he was there as well. Shout out to him. A couple other people. I'd met Rosenberg. I'd met a couple other. It was a good time. Like, I low key was, like, half pay attention to the show, half, like, talking to all the great people in the suite. So
That's
it
how
was,
you New York niggas do it because, like, y'all
I mean,
just
that essentially, yes.
yeah, y'all just talk and just yap all fucking
It
day.
was a big yapping session for sure, but it was a good time. Like, MSG, I will say this though, I felt very MSG, you might need to hire, like, younger security. Because remember
What
what I texted you?
uh,
I said, don't worry, you don't have to remember." I said, "I don't know if these people are staring at my shirt or
oh,
if
yeah,
I'm
what
being
I wanted
racially
to know what your
profiled."
I wanted to know what your shirt said.
Well, I had a '96 Olympics shirt.
Okay.
So, I'm not sure if people were staring at that trying to figure out like, "Oh, '96 Olympics, like, da 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 da," or if they were like, "You're not supposed to be here." Because
They
I
thought
feel like low key, that's what I was getting, the look that I was getting, the feel, the vibe that I was getting from the people at the older security at MSG, um, the entire time. I was like, you? Nah, because I'm wearing like cargos and like Uptowns, Air Force Ones. I'm wearing like the whole nine, and they're like, "Are you supposed to be here?"
not
Like,
you. Not
yeah,
the
that's
whole
like,
thing was not you, nigga.
yeah, but I was just like, "Come on, man!" Like, I didn't feel comfortable. So, shout out to Jeff J, who knows how to navigate these situations. He was like, "Yo, just walk, don't make eye contact, because they won't even stop you at a certain point because they're still processing whether you belong there or not. And when they finally process it, you'll be gone."
They should
So
replace, the people there with AI. I think that would really turn it up.
I think so, but yeah, I would say so. But it was very, I think because usually the suites, you look in all the suites, like we accidentally walked into a wrong suite, and this white guy was like, "Hey, can I
Oh
help you?"
gosh. He was there
Because
with his mistress.
yeah, G is very like, it's not like Barclays. I think Barclays is closer to like, because it's more affordable. It's within the community. It's in Brooklyn. It's at a large place where all the train stations at. It's very like a little bit more diverse. MSG is very like my father's your father and my son and my father. One of those kind of like venues. Um, but everyone was nice. I had a really great time. The vibes are incredibly high. I think everyone we locked in for the main event. which was a really good main event. Um, Netflix had I eventually got into the Delta Sky Lounge after the show.
Oh, there you go. So that was the suspenseful moment that we were all
Yeah,
waiting
yeah,
for.
yeah, Jeff is a godsend. He pretty he did so he works there, so he brought his badge and he was like, "We're bringing talent in." So he waves me and Armand as if I'm fucking talent. Um,
Don't give away the game, bruh.
no, but it is what it is, but it's a he has I mean, there's more, but it is what it is. Um, I had a great time. I had a great time with everyone involved. Show was great. Vibes are high. MSG. So yeah, that's kind of my review of the time. I'm looking forward to see what they do. I'm looking forward to Raw starting at 3 p.m., 12 p.m. your time over the next couple weeks.
Oh my god. Noon Raw, man.
Noon Raw is
I'm
nuts.
I'm not gonna have nothing to do at night. I'm telling you. I'm gonna be bored out of my mind. Like,
We gotta watch something. Maybe there's a show. I mean, everyone's been telling me watch Paradise. Maybe I'll watch that when I'm
I gotta
supposed to be
watch a
watching.
lot of shows, but I can't watch anything. My wife is at she's at like a conference this week.
Oh no.
So she's like gone all week, but I also it just puts a pause on everything that we watch. So challenge is
Yeah.
on hold.
Challenges on hold. At least Traders is over.
Yeah, how did you feel about the Traitors finale?
I thought this was some I thought it was bullshit. Not that it was bad, but I think the traders this season weren't good.
Yeah.
Um, so what it led to was four faithfuls at the end winning the show, which to me which should be unprecedented that that many make it to the end, especially those who didn't do anything. Um, but you know, it is Traders is still one of my favorite shows. I still
Right.
love the suspense of it all. I still love the final episode when they did that mission. I was like, y'all could skip this shit. No one gives a fuck about
Yeah, you
this
told me to
mission.
fast forward it. You told me to fast forward it.
No one could give a damn about it at all. But I love Traders at the end of the day. How did you feel about
I thought it was maddening. I think it was a maddening season of the
it?
show. I This is my first time really kinda, like,
Watching it week to
peeping.
week?
Yeah, watching it week to week and, kinda seeing what it was and because I've always had an interest in it, but, like, not I wasn't able to watch it because it just I mean, the first episode, they always vote out my favorite people, so they voted out Bananas first episode last season,
And
and
then this
then
season was Dolores.
this season was Dorit, I believe,
Dorinda, sorry, Dorinda,
or
yeah.
Dorinda, yeah, Dorinda from, Housewives. My wife's like a big housewife, person, so,
Oh, Dorinda was not having it at the reunion. Did you see?
she was standing on business.
She was like, "You got rid of the most entertaining people," and he's like, I just got rid of who's in front of me." And she's like, "Yes, but you all are whack."
I think that Bob the Drag Queen is a capper. Like, he's one of the biggest cappers I've ever seen in my life. How
Mm.
do you not
He's
know who
also
the
from
hell
New York, by the way.
how do you not know who the housewives are? As like a I'm not trying to, stereotype. I'm just saying. Even, like, if you got a significant other, you know who these women are because 'cause they're talked about often. You feel me?
This is true. I
This
mean, I
nigga's
didn't know
capping.
who they were, but
But the thing
he
is,
should
like,
know.
he should know. And even if you didn't, Meals, like, you got, if you have a significant other, they more than likely watch it. It's like the big let's just stop playing. It's the biggest franchise in TV,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
right?
Real
Let's just
Housewives,
yeah,
Big
let's
Bravo gang.
exactly. Let's just stop playing here. I'm not even gonna try and sugarcoat it and add any qualifiers to it. It's the biggest franchise in TV. You know who the
Yeah.
fuck these women are. You knew you were targeting them from the beginning. Stop playing. Like I just hated that about the reunion. Huge fan of Gabby Wendy. I've been clipping her stuff off TikTok all week. So get ready, chat. Because
Yeah,
Gabby
she's
Wendy is
really the
coming.
only one I was like really fucking with, but it is what it is.
And
I
she
mean,
only woke up in the last 2 episodes.
yeah, I mean, they had to at that point. Um, but it's crazy. Um,
We got
how do
text open before we start.
Oh, yes, yes. I was trying to Should we do like hot wrestling goss as well? We can do that.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
can review the show. We can call
yeah.
it in the ring. I got Daily Smart open. I got everything. Shout out
We
to
gotta
the
talk
Daily
about
Smart.
a we gotta talk about a depressing pay-per-view as well.
Of course, yeah.
Pay-per-view that just left me depressed after watching. I got 2 packs today, so I'll
Don't
start.
we all? Don't we all?
I've noticed a decline in just people talking about this. I think this last pack really soured people in the game, I'm not gonna lie. They need some
I think
excitement.
this is the Pokemon drop off. Like they'll have a new hot game, it'll be fire. They put all the originals in it, people will be excited for it, and then slowly everyone wanes out, and it's really just Pokemon fans who end up playing it.
Uh,
But I have
I
a you doing Triumphant Light?
yeah, I'm doing Triumphant Light. I'm not done with it yet.
Okay, me neither.
Um, I got Bronzong, Krogagunk Croagunk.
Krogunk,
Is Krogunk?
yes, Krogunk.
Alright, whatever. Gibble, this like my 70th Gibble.
Yeah.
Zubat,
Mm,
boy, I'm gonna kill myself. And Pupitar. Thanks. Appreciate it. Okay.
I
I got
got
oh, you doing 2?
Pupitar. Yeah, I got
Alright,
Pupitar, Ghastly, Meditite, Marill, Mothim. Trash, 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 trash,
alright.
trash.
Last
Not
pack.
even I haven't got a really good card in like at least a week and a half.
Well, let's see. I haven't got a good card since that Garchomp that I showed you.
Mm, we open up a second one. I can open up a
Yeah,
second
I
one.
got a second one.
All right,
I
go
have
ahead.
to because this is my time anyway to open packs. I set it up so
Otherwise,
that
it'll never happen.
I open them when we're doing the show.
Okay.
So, Nose Pass,
Hmm.
Snover,
Hmm.
Meryl, Gengar, Magnezone, which I got out of a Wonder Pick today, and so I got 2 now. So, whatever.
Yikes. All right. Well, I got Bronzong, Staravia, Bronzor, Barboach, Magnezone.
We literally got the same pack 2 times, like, together just now.
It's cooked, bro.
Yeah, I don't know,
Listen,
man. It's not hard to see that the pull rates for this have gone dramatically down.
maybe I need to start opening other packs. I got also a Wonder Pick thing. I haven't picked anything on Wonder Pick yet, but it is what it is.
Fucking useless.
Um,
I'm gonna do the Wonder Pick trick where you unfollow all your friends and then you follow people from this specific Discord where they only get star rares and stuff like that, and then all your Wonder Picks will be star rares and shit.
huh.
Yeah, you just gotta unfollow all
Okay.
your friends.
All right. I mean, I'm down to take that risk. No, I hope no one takes it personally.
I mean, I'll just be like, I'll be back when I get these rares. I'll be back. Yeah.
um, there's a whole bunch of stuff that happened in wrestling this week. I got the hot wrestling goss.
Okay.
Um,
I mean, there's literal goss and then like there's like goss.
yes, there's literal goss and then goss. So first bit of news, I'm literally going off of the Daily Smart, and then I'm scrolling up.
Okay.
Nepotism is running wild in WWE.
Damn.
Backstage report: Michelle McCool replaces Mickey James on WWE LFG. Um, LFG has been renewed for its second season and will feature literally all the guests on it, except for Mickey James, who is
Mm.
being replaced by Michelle McCool. Fightful Select then reported that Undertaker agreed that he would continue to do the show if his wife was involved somehow. He did not, they made it a thing to note, he did not specifically request James off the show. He just requested that his wife be a part of the show.
Which means that he requested explicitly for James to be off the show. Like, like how else do you
This makes me look at her like Hall of Fame induction a little bit different now. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you.
like the only way I'll go is if she goes. Any
Yeah, because
way I
low
won't.
key, I don't even think Mickey James is not a Hall of Famer. There's a lot of Hall of Famers who could be before Michelle McCool, and I mean Michelle McCool is great and all. Don't get me wrong, but she's not a Hall of Fame. Like Mickey James been doing this for 25 years, been in the
Michelle
game.
Michelle McCool occupied a very like tight window of like the women's division at that time.
Yes,
And um
great athlete, but
great athlete, and there wasn't really nobody like her, but it was like like the what was it like the gap between Michelle McCool and then like the first new lady started coming like 3, 4 years before like AJ and Paige and all of them. Like it was a very
ye-
small pocket.
Yeah, so she was rocking from pretty much like 2006 to like 2011, and then
Yeah.
that's when the AJ Caitlyn NXT season 3 um started really like popping and getting in there. So um yeah, it's a, she occupied the time. Um More hot guys?
I haven't seen one episode of LFG
Neither
yet.
have I.
I need to catch up.
No, I'm all contented out. Like you can't, like between that and Evolve is like I ain't got the time. I'll check it out on YouTube.
Well, I tapped into Evolve last week. It won't be something that I weekly watch. I think that like I kind of got the gist of what it is. It's like extra content dump.
Yeah.
I'm straight. And like if they're not, you know, what I'm saying? I looked at it and I was like, yeah, I don't know if this is a weekly watch for me, but I will
Yeah.
definitely be interested if somebody tells me something's fire on it, and I'll go back and watch it.
It might be a YouTube watch. Good YouTube watch. Something.
Probably, potentially. It's short. It's 47 minutes long. For at least the first episode was. So,
Okay.
um,
All right. Shout out to Tubi. Um, Next bit of hot goss. Carmella details her WWE departure. She
yeah,
jumped
man.
she jumped on the Barely Famous podcast with Kyle Laurie, who's apparently the teen mom girl.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, shout out to them. Still getting
She's the
money.
one He's the one who got in, like, a fight with one of the other castmates, and then, like, she didn't wanna show up anymore.
Oh, okay.
Like,
Good
she's
for
not
her.
actually on the show anymore, I think, 'cause she
How's
tried to
Teen Mom not a Housewives franchise thing?
uh, because of its, like, humble beginnings, I think. I think it's very hard to be, like, we're, like,
Teen
Housewives is
Moms of Cali, Teen Moms of Miami.
yeah, but it's
Like
like there's nothing like being a bad like, Teen Mom is not
it's
like a
not a baddies.
baddie title, like, it's not
Yeah,
like a
you don't
baddie
have to be.
title,
You could be like Love and Hip Hop, but like Teen
Love
Mom.
and Hip Hop ain't I got pregnant at 16, like, that's not it's not like
But it could. It
no,
could, you know what I'm
no,
saying?
like, this was a shit but Teen Mom was like we're completely off
You get
kilter here, but,
let's say get a Britney Spears sister to be on.
but remember Teen Mom was all about the explicitly the aversion and the kinda like a, you know, the warning of, like, this is what could happen if you make, like, these types of decisions, these are the stresses and
Yeah.
stuff like that. Like, MTV used to present it in that way, and then it became like a franchise. Like, I don't think it was meant to be a franchise in that sense. They just saw that, like, we really like these characters or these people, and they carried on the franchise from them. Like, then this ain't Candy Barris. Nigga, this ain't fucking, you know what I mean? This ain't, Gabrielle Garcelle. Like, these are teen moms, bro. These chicks ain't I don't know. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know. I like Teen Mom. It's a cool show, but,
Yeah.
Carmella showed up. I don't even know how they knew each other,
Yeah,
which
I
is
don't
her.
know. She says, handful of women have gone pregnant while under contract, and they basically freeze your contract while you're pregnant. They pay you, which is so incredible. They don't have to pay you while you're pregnant, and they paid me. They paid every woman who has been pregnant before under contract. I'm so grateful for that. I will say I did offer to work when I was pregnant. Please know I can't wrestle, but let me go on the road. Let me do interviews. I'll do kickoff shows. I'll do panels. Let me contribute. I didn't want them to think I was cool at sitting home, getting paid, and not working. They were like, "No, stay home. It's fine." I did. I stayed home and they were really cool about it. Usually, what happened in the past of those who've been pregnant under contract is that they have their baby, they recover, and every postpartum journey is different. I don't want to speak on anyone else's recovery. Mine was obviously a lot more difficult because of the nerve damage with my foot. I let them know I had my son. This is what happened when it was going on. Um, she then pretty much states like basically they unfroze her contract at some point. It says I didn't know. No one told me that I only had 7 weeks off after my son and that they were gonna reinstate it. I basically had a year left on my contract when I got pregnant. When it was reinstated January 1st, 2024, they picked that date. That's when they got reinstated, January to the following February, and that's where we're at now. It expired, and that is that. Um, so she had a really interesting experience, kind of where she got pregnant. She had some, postpartum um, kind of like injuries
Mhm.
and she wasn't able to really like get back in the ring. And I'm to my knowledge, she still isn't able to really get back in the ring. But a couple weeks ago, WWE pretty much was like, "Hey, your contract's expiring. We're not going to renew it," and they pretty much moved on from her. Um, she says it hurt. It really hurt. I was upset. I was disappointed. They knew about my injury, and I was doing everything in my power to heal and get better. Um, you know, Carmella is a huge personality. I love talking on the microphone. So please let me help another team out. I can't wrestle, but I can contribute. I was in touch with Creative. They got medical clearance from my personal doctor who said I could travel but not wrestle. Then radio silent. I didn't hear from anyone, and that was at the end of July. Um, so she said she got ghosted by the company essentially. There's a whole lot more in this interview. Um, and I know with Carmella, I like Carmella.
Yeah,
Just
she's a
put
cool
that,
personality. She's a cool
yeah.
personality.
And I think she definitely could have done something more like on screen or something. But I also feel like with this new management, this TKO group management, they're moving a little bit different in terms of like talent that they keep and decide.
Yeah,
However,
it ain't about, like, in the way that, like, Vince would kinda keep on kinda his favorites. Like, he played favorites with a lot of the talent, and then he would keep them on, like you could tell, like, he really, like, liked Carmella, like,
yeah, yeah, for
as
sure.
a
Because he used her for a lot. Like she
yeah.
got so much country.
Yeah, in some people's eyes too much, some people's eyes not enough, but she was used. And I think that, when we look at it through that lens, like, it's way different than how they treat a lot of the people now. It's literally like it's a corporation now. Like, for all of its issues that were happening before that, like, there was a sense that, like, I think a lot of people who worked there really liked Vince because of how they just came to him for stuff. I don't think that's probably necessarily the case anymore. It seems like that's not the case anymore at TKO.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I would kind of like chalk it up to. It's a really different experience currently, and how they handle business. And she just unfortunate collateral for that. But um, not to say that she can't be back, but I mean, I guess what would be best now is just kind of like working towards recovery. Or just really finding Carmella could do anything to be real with you. I was like, yo, you could host a show, host a podcast, host a red carpet, host anything. Like you're
But
really good.
on another angle, I do think that this was her way of telling these niggas, like, "Hey, I see you." Like, make it right, because the thing is, whenever somebody like that says something, like, I always feel like that they come back and, like, make it right for them. So, like, I don't know how they'll make it right for her,
Hmm.
but something will happen, I would imagine, and I think that this was probably the first step to doing that. Because, like, literally, Nikki Bella said it. Remember the other week, like, Nikki Bella was like, "Hey, I wanna come back with this the such and so," and then next thing you know, she's there. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So, we'll see.
Um, Another hot goss, which extends into the main show.
Yes.
Jade Cargill.
Ah, man. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
The Wrestling Observer reported that months before Cargill's injury, she was involved in a confrontation with Shayna Baszler around the time that she and Bianca Belair were facing Baszler and Zoe Stark. According to Meltzer and then Fightful Select, people were initially quiet about the altercation. It seems like she also wasn't very popular backstage, but issue people apparently took issue to a recently released promo on social media where she commented, "There are wolves in the shape of women all around me." Fightful reported that the locker room got to talking, and one talent told the outlet that the promo was taken personally by a number of people who kept a backstage incident with Baszler quiet. Her absence reportedly got heat in the locker room as well. Fightful said talent heard that Cargill had asked for the mandatory holiday tour off. Following that, she sustained an injury, and some people doubted that was real. And that's why mixed reports of Cargill's injury. It was a little hate in the locker room. You know what I'm saying? Let's take it back to the essence. WWE officials confirmed Cargill was injured and was ready to come back even earlier than she did, but had to be cleared by WWE doctors. Let's talk about Jade Cargill because a number of weeks ago we had the question about where is she?
Yes.
Because for a long time, um, she was kind of like Buddha unceremoniously out of the show and out of the War Games match. And while in the first couple of weeks there were like conversations about like who could have attacked Jade, who could have did Jade, and then maybe for like 6 weeks after that, it was kind of like silence. Jade was not mentioned on the show. Jade was not mentioned. Kind of like the mystery had kind of like fallen back until a few weeks ago, which I'm assuming is when Jade got cleared.
Mhm.
Um, However, we're getting these reports as well, that she may not be as popular in the locker room as she is.
I think you're like, "How do we approach this?" I think
Yeah,
that's what you're saying.
but
I
I think
think
it.
I
mean, it's a
think
woman.
I think there's things that are being reported. I think there are things that we know. Once again, pay the 20.
Yeah.
I think that there are things that ultimately will come out in time. I don't know when. We don't know when. Who knows? I'm being as purposely vague as possible. Okay, I'm just as to keep it. I will say this: s- that report is true
Mm,
somewhat, but I also think there is also more to this story, and I think that like in a lot of ways, from what me and you know, Meals, like some of this is true, and there's a lot more that's like being left out, and I think and I think like in a way, and it sounds fucked up to say, and I know like, but walk with us here. This is how these people. This is their jobs. This is how they react. You know how this business is. You know how these people are, right?
mhm.
I do think that this report was like a warning, like keep fucking with us and we will reveal more. Like that's exactly what I felt like this was. That's what it read like to me is like keep fucking with us and we'll say more.
What do you think
Um
about the fact that she seemingly, I guess, either got this reputation or have these things, and she's still relatively new. Like she just debuted like a year ago. Like
yeah.
realistically, kind of been on the road for at least a year. Um, and already it's kind of like this situation where she hasn't she's I guess rubbed people the wrong way. I mean, you could see everyone's kind of like pinpointing that incident. I think it was at Clash at the Castle, France, or whatever they called
Yeah,
the France, Backlash
yeah,
France,
the
maybe?
choke. I'll say this: we didn't hear anything about that being the issue.
Yeah.
I can say that with explicitly. We didn't hear anything to that effect. We did hear of a situation at a Saudi show on Raw. We did
Right.
hear that. We and obviously that was a heavily edited show. Um, but uh, I just seek out the tag match from this or the battle royal from the Saudi Raw and just peep what was edited out or what looked edited out. Like the main thing is that issue with Shayna seems to be the crux of it, and it seems like they didn't like each other. The thing about it,
Yeah.
Shayna, is that she seems to be really beloved in the locker room, but we also heard that there was incidents with other women in the backstage area that like you know may come out, may not come out in the future, but something happened, right? And the injury, I don't know. Like the injury part is where everyone's getting hung up on, but I think as far as the backstage stuff, I would say that like with Jade, I wouldn't put all of that like I wouldn't put it wholly on her, even though I do think like she might be wilding from what I'm hearing, but like I wouldn't put it on her. Like think of the locker rooms that she came from. Think of the AEW locker room and how that shit went. Think of how
Yeah.
remember there was those weird moments with her and Athena. There were those weird
Yeah.
like Twitter
Her
exchanges
and Red Velvet and a
and her
couple
and
other
Red
people.
Velvet. Like and in some of those situations, it didn't even look like she was the aggressor. In
Yeah.
a lot of
But
those,
also
like
there's that kind of system also doesn't lend to the type of remediation that would probably teach people how to approach those kind of situations in the ring.
absolutely.
Um, because we know one thing we know about AEW is that their remediation, their little what do they call it? I'm not even sure if they
Yeah,
still fucking have
there
it.
is no conflict mediation. There is no conflict resolution there.
They
It's
got their
like
little advisory board, can't
yeah,
post on social media, can't if you
the
fighting
inmates
ended.
run the asylum there, and I think that it could be a very large learning experience to learn how that locker room works compared to like how WWE locker room works, where the women there seem to be very tight knit. They seem to like always be hanging out and doing stuff together. Like that's what it seems like to me, and it's always seemed like she was. When you truly think about it, she's kind of detached from that. Like you like even if you look on Instagram stuff like that, it seems like she's really close to a lot of the NXT girls, but the main roster girls is not really that, right? Um, again, I think that she could be potentially a huge star for them.
Mhm.
I think that this I'm hoping that this is a minor setback. I'm hoping that this is something that they can all get over and they can kind of learn to work with each other and learn to work with one another because the people love her. She got a massive pop on Friday night. Like the people are ready. She got a massive pop at an elimination chamber.
Yeah.
People really she's got a great look. She's got a great just her whole design is
People know
amazing.
Jade Car like, people outside of the bubble, I think everyone recognizes that she's a star, for sure.
Yeah, yeah, and I would hope that this does not, leave a mark on her or anyone else involved. And listen, I want Jay to succeed. I think that she needs to be able to work more. She needs to be able to do more promos. She needs to be able to do a lot because again, she's on the main roster. She's not on NXT. She's literally kind of like learning the job on the fly at this point. You know what I mean? Like she's got to learn it, and a lot of it has to do with just these relationships. And it seems like her and Shayna didn't get along. We're hearing that her and a lot of other people didn't get along too. But she's back. They all need to learn how to make this shit work and make some money. You know what I mean? That's really what it comes down to. It's not even about who's right, who's wrong, who's jealous, who's not. I mean, you see Chelsea Green. She maneuvers like she can whoop somebody ass.
Yeah.
And I love that.
She maneuvers like, I mean, "Who gonna check me?" You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. But again, it shows you kind of how like Chelsea she don't suffer no bullying because of what she been through. You know
Yeah,
what I
yeah.
mean? So like if she's being open with it, if all these other
Well,
people
she's
being
been in the
open with
business
it,
for a long time, and she's been through several locker rooms and things like that. Like, you look at
yeah.
how her response with the but, you know, people also assume that it's like, "Oh, was she the one who went to the thing?" Because she made the post online, um,
Well
regarding
well,
the post.
Jay
We hadn't even
Jay
seen it.
yeah, we didn't I hadn't seen it, swear to God, I hadn't seen it, and Jay made the video, and Chelsea we didn't see that she responded to the video, which leads more she responded to it, and it was like, "Okay," so, like, again,
He's like, "You're not gonna whoop my ass." So it's
yeah,
like
like, these are things that she's witnessed, these are things that she's seen, and people are like, "Oh, well, she's jealous." I'm like, "Listen, guys, it's not always as cut and dry as, like, jealousy. There's literally nothing to be jealous about. This she's on TV every week." You know what I'm saying? Like, there's nothing to be jealous about. I think
right.
literally this is a case of, 1, messiness. This is some housewife shit.
Yeah, yeah.
And 2, not suffering any type of bullying or any type of fuck shit, and they shouldn't. They
Yeah.
shouldn't.
Well, there's a lot of we don't know the specific details on things. People essentially talk about, oh, commented on how Shayna Baszler needs to learn how to work or something along those lines, and that kind of led to the entire thing. All I'll say is,
That's which is crazy if Jade said that.
yeah, it was crazy, but I feel like she wouldn't, but I could, you know, maybe she talking about a working headlock, like, don't choke me out, like, for real.
No, I don't
But
know. I don't know.
but
Because there were too many people that
but
were
there,
acting like they knew what it was like to be in a headlock or in a
yeah.
and I was like, I was like, "Listen, I'm just saying I don't think that was
Right.
the
She's like, "Well, I'm not
scope
gonna
of the
kill
match."
you, girl."
Yeah.
But I do think this is an experience that we've seen like a lot of people get in various heat situations before, so many different times, and I've come out on the other side of it. And usually, it's helped build within the narrative of their career. You look at again CM Punk, great example, and also a horrible example. But you look at him, you look at Miz, you look at Seth Rollins. Even Seth Rollins was not easy to work with apparently when he got to NXT because he was like, "Yo, bro, I shouldn't fucking be here. Like, fuck y'all." Um, but these are situations where you kind of like you got to learn to play the politics of the locker room a little bit, and maybe she feels like she's above that. She's like, maybe I'm grown, like da da da. But at the end of the day, it's like you have to ultimately respect what the foundation that's been laid here, especially if you had just gotten here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Especially if you came from the competition. Um, it's a little bit of like understand the landscape. I don't want to say play within the rules because I don't really think there's rules to play with because she's
And
gonna
I
get
don't think
pushed a
it
lot further than a lot of these other girls, to be honest with you.
yeah,
But it's also like respect it's a respect for everyone that's there, and I think ultimately that's what the locker room culture in WWE now is. But also, I'm also not a fan of like clicky group culture. Uh,
it don't seem like a clip. I mean, it to me, it just seemed like I'm like, it is Jade and it is the whole division. Like it seems like that to me.
mm,
Like I'm not even on no bullying shit, but it was like if they feel like it was some bullying shit with her, that's what they're going at it like to me.
right.
That's what they're going at it like to me. So
Well, while we're here, can we talk about the segment on Friday?
yes, let's talk about the segment on Friday. Uh Jade Cargill returned to SmackDown, but before she did, Bianca Belair came out and you know what? She needed some answers. Now all week,
She been on a different timing with these outfits and these like
bruh,
she
she
been on
came
her
out with the
media
Mary J.
train.
Blige "Not Gonna Cry" outfit, bruh. Like, I was like, "Geez." So Bianca comes out on Friday and she says, you know, I've been trying to, because we've been looking at her sideways all week. You talking about she
But
happy you
here's the
won an
thing though,
elimination
that's
chamber.
what I'm saying. I'm like, yo, your aura's giving a little suspect. So don't act like we crazy for
Yeah, don't
blaming you.
act like we're wild for being like something's up.
Yeah. Like your
Like,
friend just got beat up and you're like, but girl, WrestleMania
you
I will
made
be
it.
there.
Yeah, I did it.
Look at me and my outfit, solo, Bianca. Um, but no, so she gets out there and she says she needs answers, and eventually Naomi comes out, neck brace and all,
Yeah,
bedazzled neck brace. Um, and
deflects. She
yeah,
deflects. Like she just like,
yeah.
listen, Bianca's like, listen, I need you to tell me what's going on here.
And she's
And
like,
she's like,
girl,
"Well, girl, remember when we was defending the titles and like I always told you I would protect you and like why are you worried about that? And when we got to get our titles back from Liv and Raquel." And she's just like, "Stop deflecting,
she's
bro."
like, I was just trying to make sure that you had your flowers. You know what I'm saying? But here's my thing. I'll explain my overall thoughts with this situation because I'm not as big of a fan. I like the segment. I like the opportunity that they had to put this segment. I like the storyline implications of what it could actually mean. But overall, there's like a lot of holes and stuff that I didn't like about it as well. So there are definitely
Probably because
there's
Jay was all annoying, whatever the fuck. But go ahead.
there's pros and cons for it. But um essentially they're going back and forth and Beast just says, I need a yes or no. Did you do it? And Naomi says yes. And then she's like, "Damn."
Well, she says yes. Okay, the crowd is so into this they immediately start booing her. They immediately are not fucking with Naomi anymore. It is fantastic how the crowd
In
was
my brain, I
into
was like,
this.
"Wait, but she might have a reason."
Oh god.
That's what in my head, I was like, "Wait, reports just came out. It might be." I'm thinking as she's admitting this, like she's trying to save Bianca from Jade. But apparently is Naomi's just a jealous bitch. Um
Wow, come on, man.
I mean, they use the word in the segment. Why can't I use the word?
Oh,
Um but so she's crying. It's real tears, by the way. This is acting, you know. This is what's that movie that came out?
I don't know
Lady
what
of the
movie.
Ring. Lady of the Ring. What
Oh,
was it?
Queen of the
Queen of
Ring.
the Ring. Is that Queen of the Ring acting right here?
We're
Shout
gonna
out to
get to that
Camille.
later. We're gonna get to that. We're gonna
Shout
get
out
to
to
that.
Camille. Free Camille.
I don't know if we want to free her, but do your thing, girl.
Uh, so they both crying now. Cause it's like, damn girl, why you did that? Ain't nobody asked you to do that. And she's like, y'all keep playing me. And I was like, Naomi, where is this coming from? She's like, you know what I'm saying? She's like, I try to be happy. I didn't want this. Da da da. Um, so Bianca says, me and you, we are through. And Naomi says, Bianca.
Like she was screaming her name,
Bianca, y'all
and she
always be leaving me. Y'all always turn y'all back on me.
you're missing a large part of it of the promo, and that's that Naomi herself does not feel as though she's given the respect she deserves, which I think is a very meta argument for her to have as a heel, which I feel like a lot of heels don't have in the company. Is that like y'all always say that I'm underrated, and I'm always underrated, and the moment that I do something about it, you guys are mad at me.
But my thing
Um,
was that they were the big three. It's not like there's a fucking trios championship for them to go for. But she
That's
felt
not
like she was.
you I feel like you're arguing story points that are not explicitly designed like that. Like this is a story point where it's like, well, no, it's not. But like in the essence of this story, like it works here
But
because of this.
yeah, but it makes it feel like the story that they're trying to tell is that like y'all left me dolo to get all these championship matches and get my ass whooped while y'all was having a great time defending your championship and being dominant as you were. And I felt like I was kind of left laid to the side. But then I'm also like, but you were also, they supported you every time you had a championship match. You were frequently in segments together. I don't know if it like y'all had another match together. So I was kind of confused over like, all right, so where is this Naomi story coming from? And I think Naomi's going to be, well, I think she's going to be a solid heel. Um, but I also feel like she's miscast for the character, and I feel like Jade should have been the one that should be a heel. But I'm trying not to project how I feel about these things on the segment that was there. But I do feel like it's, to me, there's not enough like there's not enough for me to really buy into the fact that Naomi did this, attacked this, beat this big ass woman on top of this fucking car. All
You
because
could beat
she
it.
was
You could beat anybody ass if they can't see you.
this is true.
I mean, like,
Um,
like that's
this
just
is
a
true. But also it's like, all right, Jay, did you see her? Did you know it was her?
well, at some point she had to know because they actually talked to each other on Twitter. Like they actually like
Yeah. But
they
then
like.
also, so I'm assuming she knew it was her. And maybe she also thought Bianca was in on it as well, which is
Well,
why she hadn't responded to her texts.
I think the Jade angle, because that's the one thing that confused me about the angle, is that I thought that the look that she gave Bianca was like, "Huh?" I didn't understand that look, because I was just like, "What well, what do you want her
That's
to
what I
do?"
was also like, yeah, what's happening here?
Yeah, why are you upset at her for that? And and again, we
It was
will
great
get
camera
that.
work, by the way. Like
It really was.
the "You ungrateful bitch," and
Should
then
have pushed her harder.
yeah. I should have pushed her sooner. Um, so then
But
she turns around and then they show it on the screen and it's just, WWE production is just amazing.
it was on site at that point. Listen, I this is one of my favorite segments of the year, and I think I put it in that same category as the Cena segment from 2 weeks ago. I thought that it shows a lot of faith in not only Bianca but also Naomi to handle the gravity of something like this,
Yeah,
and to give it the emotion that is so sorely needed because this
I
is a
agree.
big reveal. This is a big reveal. This is a nearly 6 month angle that they've been pushing, since last year. This is probably one of the longest running stories, if this goes to Mania with Jade and Naomi, one of
Yeah.
the longest stories that they've been doing. Um, I thought they both handled this masterfully. This was a great segment for me. And I think that again, you now have Bianca, much like with anyone in the top of the class right now. She's in multiple different storylines on 2 shows with multiple different people. So again, you're actually elevating a lot of different people there. I think the question now is like, now what?
Yeah.
Now what is gonna happen? What is next? Because my big issue is we didn't bring this up, but like Jay comes out and she beats up Naomi again, and it's like,
But she
okay,
doesn't
well,
say anything.
she didn't say anything, but also what are we to glean from this match if Naomi has been beat up twice by this woman? And I think that's been my main sticking point is like, okay, well, you beat Naomi up twice, so like what in the
Well,
match.
she beat her up once apparently. So,
Well
you know what I'm
well,
saying?
yeah, sure, but like we've physically seen her beat up Naomi twice and be just this imposing monster towards her.
Yeah.
Why would Jay want a match at this point? That's my question. Like, why does she want a match? Like, what does that do for Jade? And I'm hoping they answer that in a meaningful way.
I'm
I
trying to
would
figure
love.
out really what's her issue with Jade though. Like, is Jade
But
like a bitch?
she said it. She said Jade was trying to steal your thunder. She was trying to steal things from you. And again, and
Okay,
we'll talk
yeah.
about this on Raw, Rhea uses that to nudge at Bianca as well. So she's not full like Bianca is not fully out of the story with Jade yet. And I
Yeah.
think that, ultimately this leads to something between them. But uh I think that Naomi has a point, not the way she handled it, but I think that again, like she said it, like everyone was talking about Jay being better than you, and it's gonna come down to jealousy and who's more jealous of who, and I think gonna be that's gonna be interesting when it happens. But I thought again, masterful segment,
I th
a lot of
I
time.
think the segment was absolutely masterful and it deserves all its flowers. It's currently over 1,000,000 views on YouTube, both the segments, admitation, and the ass whooping. But, yeah, I'm just a little. To me, it's still hard for me to buy Naomi in this situation because I don't really feel like she was. I don't know if maybe she just got something going on in her head. Maybe it's her own self doubt that we'll come to discover. And I hope they give more time to it. But I felt like
Oh.
this. I don't know if the signs were there. Now people are making up signs, right? So that's the thing that people
Oh,
are doing now.
they're doing the rock 3 fingers?
Yeah, they going back in time and it's like, see, they didn't even have matching gear. What was that about? Like, um, Naomi was looking at this, that, and the third. What was that about? You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
we
Like,
we had noticed the look that she gave one of the weeks, but, like, I'm not gonna act like it was consistent every week. I'm certainly not gonna act like this was a consistent thing that they were doing every
yeah.
week.
But
It just
I mean,
wasn't.
I'm interested to see where it goes. I mean, I don't know where Naomi might be the only one Jade can work with on this goddamn roster at this point.
Yeah, maybe, you know what I mean? Because and again, she sh she's been working with these ladies for a year, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And hopefully, we can see her growth, but, again, like you said, she didn't talk. She hasn't had a match. We'll see where it goes. It looks Mania ready to me, but,
It would be
um
great if she talked. Like, just have a little sit down with I don't know, Joe Tessitore or someone. I don't know.
Brian
Uh,
Saxton.
it would probably be Byron. So Jay,
Ladies,
you
you don't need
said
to do this.
right. That's the thing. Um, but interesting to see, but overall, it was a great segment to the show. Like it was fantastic. Um, before we transition, we got to talk about the pay per view that happened this weekend.
Real quick, I think I wanna leave main event talk to Patreon. Let's leave main event talk to Patreon. I
Of
think
course,
I don't think you spoke about it at length yet, and, I would love to hear your overall thoughts on it, but Revolution, pay-per-view of the year?
um, for AEW, maybe considering they've only had one this year, absolutely.
Uh,
It was a show where I guess feuds blew off, but then more confusing shit started. Just when you think you have the answers, they change the answers and say we never actually said that. Um, and now we got new questions. Um, I watched this for the most part all the way through. It was like on in the background.
I went
Um,
to make dinner in between,
God
uh,
bless.
and then I came back to it, but so I think I missed the Kenny Omega match. Whoops.
You, except when you shout out to his entrance, the big weeb entrance of the year.
No, I'm like, "Bro, can we cut it with that fucking
This is
entrance,
what we laughed
man?"
at Cody at, by the way. This is what we
Yeah.
would laugh at Cody every week for, by the way. Just
Get
this
the
long, extravagant, you know, thing entrance. I don't hate it, but I do the same thing with Cody's entrance in AEW, where when the pyro hits, I just start laughing because I'm like, this is so overkill.
Oh, man, I'm like, "What? Oh,
It's the
man,
best, bro. It's the
God."
best. Can you believe they have it a 20 they had a 28-minute 30-second match?
Oh, wow, it took me that long? I was
Yeah,
moving making dinner
followed
that
by
long.
another 29-minute match in a
They're
steel cage.
crazy. They're crazy. Alright, I guess, like, broad strokes, Hollywood ending match between Tony and Mariah May ending their feud, people thought it should main event, that was kinda the big thing.
It should have, and apparently to Wiki, it only lasted 13 minutes,
Yeah, it
which
was
is
only
5 less minutes than Mercedes and Momo.
it was fast, it was very fast, but I think ultimately, like, they had a lot of shit to get in. Like, they
Yeah,
had a
they was
lot of stuff
killing
they had
each
to get
other,
in.
glass, spikes, shoes, liquor, all types of other stuff like that. It felt like a quick barn burner of a thing.
I'm not a huge fan of the ladies doing this to themselves. I thought it was kinda crazy and excessive, and again, I was uncomfortable even at times at the Drew CM Punk thing, but I think that, it was properly it was proper creative for them. It was a blood feud. It started with blood, it had to end in blood. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like that's how it
I
had to
mean,
happen.
They just go all the way with this one. I don't think I'm thinking over the blood, but I think they just I mean, they were bleeding in the first like 3 minutes of the fucking match. Like full face, frontal blood.
Frontal, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, well, but it was the end. And I don't know where these two ladies go from here. Um, I said in the Discord, it would be great if they could find a new number one contender, maybe do a six-pack challenge at Dynasty so you can really establish the women's division. But I also think that's too good of an idea and they probably won't do it. Um, so we'll see. We'll see how this goes. Collision Mommy Mariah May, enjoy Collision. Um,
I don't think they're gonna put her on Collision. I will say that much.
I think they'll absolutely put her on Collision. You'll never see her again. Like this weekend was the first time you saw an Outrunners match, barely.
Yeah. They
And
they need to go ahead and go bald. I think
they
that's unbecoming of them.
well, I think that it's part of their gimmick of like balding 80s juiced guys. Um, Shout out to Bobby. This is what he's doing. This is what you getting paid to do.
Shout out to Bobby, man. You're certainly doing something.
Yeah, man. Listen, people thought the trophy at WrestleMania 39 was crazy. This man's not even trying. He's like biding his time. He is certainly waiting for whatever the main event program thing is to finish up so he can also like, all right, I got next.
Do niggas want him to have next? Is my thing.
I don't know.
Like,
Can I do a I haven't done this in a number of weeks.
okay,
But just a quick moment of silence for Adam Cole's career. Just all right, that's it.
okay.
Um Hangman Page, MJF. What did you think about this opener?
Open the show was just as overbooked as I
Usually they
imagined.
all are.
Yeah, as they all are. Page should have won. I think the right guy won here. I think MJF has gotten way too many wins over people in the past couple months. So just like, what the fuck? Like
Yeah.
why?
He don't even really work to be real with you, but it is
Exactly.
what it
Like,
is.
why are you beating all these people that are here on TV more than you are?
Yeah.
It was fine. I think a lot of the matches were. I think I'm really desensitized to a lot of this stuff. Like I think that like
Yeah.
the rapid kickouts of like the cage match were just insane to me. I thought the cage matches had literally like they were cramming so many callbacks into that shit in the last couple seconds that it was like insane to me. Um,
They really let Osprey do whatever he wants.
yeah,
They probably do.
just so we can have a good match, man. That's literally it.
Swerve and Ricochet, number one contender for the AEW World Championship. Swerve wins.
Yep.
Um, a lot of celebrity involvement in this match. You know how Swerve go. It's Swerve's people. This is LA. This is Swerve's country. These are
Uh-huh.
his people. These are his fans. Nigga
Okay,
said
okay, okay.
nigga said Leslie Jones was Prince Nana's mama. I was like, bro, what?
The the row
It
of
looks like his
celebrities they
mother's in the
had
audience. No, that's Leslie Jones. I was like, what is going on here?
compare the clientele of Raw and Intuit to a Revolution here, and it is night and fucking day, boy. I'm telling you. That they need a better kinda, like, partnerships and marketing coordinator
Oh,
and team.
you didn't like Damaris Lewis, who talked about what she learned about pro wrestling? Who
One
says,
thing about that,
y'all know y'all gonna win before anybody else does. Thank you for teaching me that. That's up there with black bitch. I'm
Camille making the IGs being like, "No, she didn't really
She
mean
didn't
that.
mean that. It
She
was
meant
really
thi."
like
Nah, bruh. Nah, bruh. I
it was
understand. He
really
could
about manifestation, you know? Like it was about that. And I was like, "What? Girl, come
Girl,
on,
you know what she meant. You know what the fuck she meant. That's crazy. That just shows you again, compare that to even the Andrew Schultz segment on Raw. It's like night and day. It's like you have to get people on there that are gonna follow the plan. It's like once you're in that world, once you're in that wrestling world, you kind of have to live in that world. You can't like just kind of I'm not gonna say she went off script because there was no script, But like you gotta stay like within kind of like those confines. I would have been like, oh, the one thing that I learned is that you guys have a passion, and I'm seeing that passion out here tonight. You know what I'm saying? Like that, like even if that was not meant for her to like, I don't think she meant it in any malice behind it. Let's just be
Of
clear. I think a lot
course.
of people were trying to say she meant something behind it. I don't think she meant any malice behind what she said. I do think that, however, they sent her out there half cocked, just like just to be able to say whatever the fuck. You know what I mean? And I think
Right.
that's the real issue is that like she was sent out there and they look like they didn't even know what the fuck they was gonna say. Um and I think that was bad. Like I think they should have sent both of them out there or something because like their faces were just kind of like, oh shit. Like
Well, back to the show. Back to this terrible shit. Um,
what else happened here? Oh, I guess the main event. It's already a nominee for worst match of the year, by the way. I watched that whole thing through and I was like, this is fucking shitty.
is part of it. It felt like a WWE main event style match.
From fucking 2011, maybe?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. One of them. One of them. One. But yeah, I'm just the decision to do this screams someone didn't want to lose. In fact, neither of them wanted to lose.
Yeah.
And it becomes it's so clear if you know this and if you see this from um just how the wrestling business has worked over the last like 30, 40 years that the result of this match kind of shows where AEW's kind of like power and hierarchy kind of is, I'll say. Um with that said, Cope did not lose this match, but I guess neither did, I don't know, like neither did Moxley. For whatever reason, bro.
We lost. I think that
We
the most
lost. That's a great way to
the most
that's it.
perplexing thing of the match, I think, and we could get out of here on this note, is that the cash in from Christian was one of the most kind of glaring examples of how they try to copy things and they just don't do it right, like the simple things right. The reason cash ins are so successful, right, Meals, is because psychologically, when you hear that music hit, you've seen this person with the briefcase or whatever for months and weeks on end trying to cash in or teasing that they will cash in, right? So that's the part they did do kind of right with Christian was the tease. They would continuously tease it, right? However, what is the point if this is going to be a public cash in? Would you need to dress in a hoodie and cover yourself up and drag the ref out of the ring to tell the ref? Think about this, Meals. He dragged the ref out, which could cause a DQ and just fuck the whole matchup in general,
Mhm.
just to take his hoodie off and say, "Hey, I'm going to cash in now." When you could have just walked out from the ramp to do the same thing, and the ref would have just had the same reaction, and he wouldn't have DQ'd you because he knew what you were about to do.
The ref was never gonna DQ him. AEW refs are
You're
fucking
right. You're right.
retarded.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I know.
They are
I
the worst
know.
refs on the business. But no,
I
you're
know
right. You're
what we're
right.
dealing with. I know
Right,
what we're
right.
dealing with.
And then essentially, this was the first time you established this real contract via the casino battle royal at this thing, and immediately it's wasted because you're in this program. You kind of handcuff yourself. It's similar to the Roman thing from a number of years ago with the Austin Theory situation. You handcuff yourself because currently he cannot lose, but you have this looming specter of like Christian has the contract.
Yes. Why did they give
So
it to him?
right. To be honest with you, they could have gave it to Hangman. And it would have still been fine. Like it still would have kind of low key made sense. But they gave it to Christian at some point. They were feeling Christian at some point because of the year that he had last year. But he has not had the same year this year because he has been nowhere near anything relevant on the show. I think he's been feeding with fucking Hook. So
So he does this. He does all and again, eh, my point still remains like the major reason why we love cash-ins is literally because of that carnal reaction to hearing the music hit. It's why Tiffany's was successful. It's why everyone's is so successful because they love hearing that. And that was missing. And granted, the crowd did pop somewhat when he came out, but think about how much more massive it would have been if his music hit and they heard that. Like it's just the little things they could not get right. And then, I'm just gonna put it wholly on this this Marks program because like nothing that the Death Riders do is fine. Nothing the Death Rider does is fucking good. All right, like let's just be clear here. But he comes in, it becomes a triple threat match. So now they're ripping off WrestleMania. They're ripping off WrestleMania 31, and then Christian gets choked out, and it's like so anticlimactic. Now Edge has lost his opportunity, and you know what? They're never going to do a rematch for it because that's just not what they do. I hate this company.
Well, you kept losing. We we just keep losing with this. As a Cope fan, as a as a
It's
as a
been
Cope,
over for that. It's been over for that
yeah,
nigga. So I don't even know what you trying to say here. It's been over
uh,
for Cope.
it's a wrap. I don't know what he can do at this point. Not
Nothing.
win the championship, that's for sure. Um, but it's also been noted that he hasn't really lost any of these major matches for quite some time, especially since his return. Um, he's only lost to a few people. He's only had 8 losses kind of on the show. Most of them are to Roman Reigns. But he hasn't really suffered a major loss here, uh, even though
Opposing.
his yeah, even though he's been like, "I really wanna help the young guys. I really wanna help promote this company. I really help wanna be part of something really great here." And you just are not seeing that. I feel like he's gonna fall out of favor with Tony Khan at some point, for sure. Like, I think Tony Khan enjoys him because of the experience that he has and what he's able to lend to and maybe how personable he is. Once you realize that the needle is not moving in any direction forward, um, I think it's going to extremely showcase that, like, maybe we shouldn't be really promoting this man as we typically are.
They'll never learn. Anyway, that's it for the show this week. Thank you guys for listening. Next week will be, or for the next couple of weeks, we'll be having Raw and SmackDown overseas. So we'll be reviewing those shows. Uh, it's going to be a very interesting road to WrestleMania this year. Just by virtue of having these shows on the road overseas and stuff like that. So it'll kind of be cool. But thank you guys for listening. Make sure you check out Cyrus and Kwan later this week on the War Report, and we'll talk to you guys later. Peace.